Indian world, so she really imposed her on the Black world. I say all of that to say that we had an Indian singer today who came and said that the Indians are not with her. We also had a woman named Clara Velasquez. Clara Velasquez is a painter and a Christian singer. She came and she spoke about the fact that she's from Colombia and how Tren de Araguas is a terrorist organization that is extremely violent. She said she knows a woman who's up here. Her son was in the gang. He tried to get out the gang. They went and killed him, his 16-year-old wife, and chopped their body up into pieces and put them in garbage bags and took them to the woman's house. And the woman was like, I'm getting out of here. So now she's here in Chicago, and y'all know what they're doing. Feasting off tax dollars. But I don't mind women like her getting money. Like if you're running from something dangerous, absolutely. But the rest of these people, I digress. Clara told us that. We also had a gentleman named Afro Elite. He is a conservative influencer. He spoke very well as well. The purpose of the rally was to talk about Agenda 47 because a lot of people are stuck on Project 2025. If you are still discussing Project 2025, baby, you played out. You got to keep up. Project 2025 has absolutely nothing to do with Trump. And the only reason that they're selling it to you is because they think that you're an idiot. And if you're promoting it and you're believing in it, they are right about you. Trump's agenda is called Agenda 47. So again, shout out to the beautiful people of Chicago Red, the people who supported us, the people who were in the Trump parade rally, who came to the West Side and hung out with us. And shout out to Mark Carter. Mark Carter is also a part of this movement. And we know typically Mark gets on the mic and he wants to talk. Well, this time, y'all, Mark came with a grill and Mark made tacos and hot dogs and burgers. And I'm telling y'all, a time was had on the West Side of Chicago today. That's why I'm a little hoarse. And thank you to everybody who showed up and gave us some love. Moving on, let's get to the show. I had to get all of that out first things first. However, friends, we winning. We are winning and we are winning big. They just put out the electoral map. And typically when they put out this map, it shows Illinois as being very, very deep blue. Right now, Illinois is what I'm calling light skin blue. Okay. It is light blue, which means soon to be purple, then pink, and then red. We got 14 days to pull it together or 16 days to pull it together. And I promise y'all, we are winning. Keep encouraging your people. Keep speaking to their self-esteem. Let them know that Kamala has nothing for people who have a social security number and a birth certificate. If you have a social security number and a birth certificate, nothing is coming to you from Kamala Harris. Okay. She's focused on the migrants. She's focused, or the immigrants. These are illegal immigrants. She's focused on them. She wants to dismantle ICE, which means that if she gets in office, there will be no deportations because she's going to dismantle the organization that does that. That means also that the state of Illinois continues to pass egregious bills. So yesterday on Black and Right, there was a state senator who went on the show and she spoke about a bill that just went through the Illinois House and they changed the rules in the middle of the night. They just passed $1 billion bill to increase taxes in order to take care of the illegals. So the state of Illinois literally just passed $1 billion bill to take care of them when we got all of these problems as Americans. If you are okay with that, then your self-esteem is low and stay on your side. Don't come bother us. Don't come tell us that we are wrong. We this, we that. Don't nobody want to fight with you. Don't nobody want to argue with you. Just stay over there with your low self-esteem and your high taxes and the feeling that you will someday belong to the Democratic Party. They have nothing for you. They've already imported your replacements. They have already fed them, housed them, given them health care, given them education, all the things that you've been asking for as a Democratic voter, your family members have been asking for as Democratic voters, they're giving it to people who cannot vote. And if you go and vote for that, that's your business, but that's low self-esteem, and that has nothing to do with the mission of Chicago Red. That's between your mama who raised you, the Lord, and your psychologist. Take it to your mama, the altar, or the chair. But it has nothing to do with us. Leave us alone. Moving on. Oh, Jesus. The state of Illinois currently is talking about there is a misinformation campaign going out to the voters. They're saying that the voters are trying, that there are bad actors who are trying to get in the minds of voters and pit us against each other. If you support open borders, if you support sterilizing children, if you support sexualizing children, if you support high property taxes to fund illegals, if you support the illegals coming to the Chicago public schools and giving the children communicable diseases, if you support the illegals not being promptly arrested and deported, then damn it, we are against you. We are pitted against you. You ain't our friend. So no domestic person is doing that. We can be cool, but you can't be on our team. Please, please, please leave people alone. And as people begin to flip red, do not get in their business and try to guilt trip them into coming back to the plantation, because we are not doing it. It is over. It is over. And Black America will never, ever, ever be the same again, because we're not going to be voting for the Democratic Party at 90% until they get their act together. Moving on. Waltz, as in Harris Waltz, the current governor of Minnesota, he came to Chicago a couple of days ago and he hosted a private fundraiser called for the Harris Victory Fund, hosted by JB and his wife, with Barack Obama and Wilco frontman Jeff Tweedy. When he went there, he said, and I quote, "The ticket is currently the underdog." What? So Waltz came to Chicago and called them the underdog because we kicking them too. We got them on the ropes, y'all. We have them on the ropes, and the work that we're doing is reverberating around the country. So now we got Chicago red, we got St. Louis red, we got Baltimore red, we got Philly red, we got Tampa red, we got Kansas City red, we got LA red, we even got Seattle red, y'all. Even Seattle, or the state of Washington, is light skinned blue right now. So this movement is popping, and that is because, as our great member War Drummer always says, courage is contagious. Courage is contagious, and we are getting where we have a contagious movement. Also, Waltz told them that they're the underdog. He also said this thing is going to be close. That's the way our country is. No, it's not going to be close at all. It's going to be a blowout because, again, our self-esteem, we're not going to be tricked like this again. I'm not going to sit here, or I'll give you guys this quote as well. He said, "It's pretty clear the tired, divisive, and old rhetoric of Donald Trump matches the tired, divisive, and old Donald Trump. There is nothing more there. There's nothing but hate, nothing but division. There's no solution." We love MAGA. MAGA got so much love, y'all. I'm telling you, a time was just had in Garfield Park. I can't even put it into words. So again, they have their backs against the ropes. They don't have any policies. The only things that they have are emotion and insults. That's it. They do not care about you enough to actually push for the solutions that we need. But enough of them, because we already winning. Moving on, I want to share something else with you all. If you've been listening to this show for a while, you know that I am also a war reporter. I love watching the war play out every night on my phone. I sit there and I watch all of these off the wall Twitter pages, and these people are over there fighting. You know, they're talking about Gaza and how the people are getting killed. Yes, they are. But you better know that the Palestinians are over there fighting like hell. They got missiles, they got rockets, they got machine guns, and they are definitely getting their licks back, as well as the Lebanese are bombing Israel. And the Syrians, I believe it was the Syrians. They shot a missile at Benjamin Netanyahu, who's the president of Israel. They shot a missile and hit his house yesterday. Okay, and they said that they're gonna shoot some more. And this week, the Israelis and the Iranians are about to engage in a full-scale war, and the Iranians are like showing off their artillery, and they're like, y'all don't even know, y'all can't even think about the kind of weapons we got, but come over here and pull it. P. Ray, why are you mentioning all of this? Because aside from what's happening in Israel, right now at this very moment, North Korean soldiers are training in Russia. And they're going to send these North Korean soldiers to go fight in Ukraine. Now, what makes this very interesting is that there is a lot of tension at the Korea border between North Korea and South Korea. They've been actually shooting at each other in the past week or so. Typically, they like send like garbage to each other's sides, like balloons filled with garbage, and they pop and put garbage in their country. But now they are actually shooting. So we know that South Korea is backed by the US government and the North Koreans are backed by the Russians. So there's about to be war on the Korean peninsula. We also know that yesterday, the president of China, President Xi, told the troops to prepare for war. Last week, the Chinese warships did a military exercise where they surrounded the island of Taiwan with all of their warships in order to intimidate them. We know that the island of Taiwan is backed by the US government. But because we are stretched so thin in all of these wars, now all of the geopolitical structures that we've put in place are starting to crumble, and they know that we don't have the wherewithal or military might to fight all of these fronts of the war. So this is why, again, do not vote for Kamala Harris. She will not be able to lead the United States successfully through World War III, because that's where we are right now. Putin is not going to take her seriously. President Xi not going to take her seriously. The president of Iran not taking her seriously. Okay, we need an alpha male to go over there and crush out these other alpha males, and that person is Donald John Trump. I don't care who doesn't like it. I'm an AKA. Yes, I am, and I am not voting for Kamala. Moving on. I think that's actually all of the current events that I wanted to talk about this week. There are other things to discuss, but again, we got 16 days and we are winning. We are winning in a big way. Again, shout out to that station that I used to be on. I heard y'all did a show about me on Monday. The owner and all of the hosts, and y'all were talking about Chicago Red, and y'all so disappointed that everybody caught on to Chicago Red, and it's all my fault that it happened. I told everybody my goal was to turn Chicago red. Do people think I'm just running my mouth? I'm dead serious when I say things. If I set a goal, I'm going to smash that goal. And we did it. We did it, y'all. And we are winning. And oh my God, this is a blessing. Let's take a phone call before we get to our guest. Let's go to the phone line. Welcome to Black Excellence Hour.
Hello?
Hello. Hey.
Hey, P. Ray, this is Dennis.
Hey, Dennis. What's going on?
Well, the event was very, very spectacular, Ralph Hand.
Thank you.
But you know what? I saw a video. I don't know if you saw it. It was a rapper named Lil Scrappy. He was talking. Yours and the Chicago Conservative was posted on there.
Mm-hmm.
And my response, and some people ask me, well, what's your viewpoint on it? I'll say, I don't listen to a beta male who less than a man who have his T cell is declining and stuff, talking about other people. We have the right to choose who we want to be elected office, because the candidate that you support doesn't mean that I should support the candidate as well. Mean that I should. The thing about some black people, if they so caught up into the plantation that if the master house catch on fire, they'll go in there and say master and probably sacrifice his life for the master.
Mm-hmm.
And that's on the Democratic plantation, Ralph Hand. But nevertheless, that this is the most crucial election today. This is going to be the most important election. We got to vote Trump in. And then once Trump wins, let's hope that he will take Illinois too. That will send a message to J.B. Pritzker and Brandon Johnson. And the reason why I say that if Trump wins Illinois, their seats are in jeopardy.
Yes, they are. And they know. That's why I said Waltz was here, low key, claiming defeat. He said that they're the underdog. How could they be an underdog if she's kind of like an incumbent? This doesn't make any sense. But the fact that he came to Chicago and said that, and Kamala just opened another campaign office in the South suburbs last week. Why? She running ads, opening campaign offices, and then my friends are working in this office, so they posted a picture, and I posted underneath, "Get that bag, but stick to the plan. Vote Trump." Because Black folks, we are voting for Trump this time. I'm telling you, tell everybody, shake a hand and make a friend, get them to the polls so that we can save our country.
That's right. And now I'm listening. I'm gonna listen to the judge tomorrow to give out this if they're gonna lift the ban, because it's gonna be a temp. They're gonna lift the ban here in the state of Illinois. So if you all want to get your AR-15, go ahead and get them.
Hey, showtime. I'm definitely giving me 2 when they lift the ban. Thank you for keeping us updated on that.
And thank you.
You're welcome. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do it without the team. And I want to give you, Dennis, a special shout out for being the protection of the group, for keeping us relevant in every Second Amendment thing that's going on, and just being serious, being a upstanding Black man who takes his gun rights seriously. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. See you.
Okay. You have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
773-345-9977. A time was had. Let's go back to the phones. Welcome to Black Excellence Hour.
Recall Brandon. You got it. So, yeah, that bill you talked about, this is the sneaky, pernicious stuff that these people do. And I think one of these shows, you should have Jennifer Santalitra on so she can talk about a lot of things that happen here in Illinois. Because we're voting for all these people. We're feeding a fat pig, and they want to keep on raising taxes. Just like our tax doctor buddy says, you know what, we got all these layers of government. We don't need all the stuff. And it shouldn't be a partisan fight, but unfortunately it's become that. But today I had a nice afternoon. I distributed a bunch of letters to my neighbors out here in rural Elgin. It's a place called Williamsburg. It's a very nice area. And in this particular location, when it was first developed, there was just one street, one way in and one way out, because back then everything was all cornfields. But what they would do is they would have little streets that would kind of dead ends, like with a little T, for future development or future connections. Well, what happened was this other big subdivision came through with more concentration. They want to connect their streets with ours. And we had a lot of big hitters back then. We said, no, you're not going to do that. So essentially what they did is they negotiated to have a 50-foot buffer around our whole area. So even though they did the other development, there's no direct connection with their streets and ours. So during the summertime, people are in their golf carts, kids are on their roller skates, bicycles, dogs and stuff. Very peaceful, very nice. And that's because the management of this area was smart enough to preserve things as they are, so they're still the same way now. Well, I wrote this letter because I kind of started to say, we have this nice area here in Williamsburg, but we have management problems on the level of Kane County, the state of Illinois, and the federal government. In Kane County, when the Republicans were in charge, they had a budget surplus. Of course, they take over. The Democrats do. The kids are, running the show now. And guess what? They spend all the money. They've increased the budget by like 50 or 60%. And next year, they want to impose a sales tax, a county sales tax in Kane County, like 0.75. Of course, 0.75 might be that today. Next year, 1.25, whatever. And once taxes are started, they never seem to end unless you end them just altogether. So I addressed that, and also the state of Illinois. Of course, Illinois has a big sign, state of Illinois. You got these poor people in the southern suburbs where the taxes have doubled. These southern Cook County suburbs. I mean, it's awful. And of course, we have a national problem in federally. We're talking about why we have to reelect Donald Trump, because the people running the show are not doing this. So one of the things I brought up, it was 4 years ago. We had energy prices were low. We had world peace. Now we're facing World War III. So just like you're correctly discussing, these are the problems that are going to occur, and it's not going to get better. God help us if Trump is not elected. But my
Man,
fear is, though, there's going to be a lot of violence, and people like Rascom, this dumbass representative from Maryland, wants to not be able to certify the election or install Trump as president should this occur. So we're going to have a big fight ahead of us, even if Trump wins.
yeah, I mean, they're gonna do everything that they can to keep up a high level of chaos. That's their goal, to keep
Right.
the people confused so that they can usurp power.
Well, that's right. It's up to people like us, talk radio, and other sources to bypass the mainstream media, because the mainstream media is completely dishonest. And I tell people, you know what? I save $300 a month now because I shut off my cable subscription for both my home and my office. It's all junk. You have to trust sources that people like you and other friends we have in common, to the good talk radio, like you mentioned, John Anthony show, things like this. These are the kind of resources that we have to rely upon so we can get our facts straight.
It's true. This is why I say support all conservative influencers. Support the content, because that's the only way that we get the information out.
That's right. So we're going to make it happen.
We're happy, and we're winning, and we're winning big.
Well, let's hope so. I got a similar thing, though. I did hear a comment. Some people think that Ted Cruz might be in a little trouble in Texas.
Oh,
I'm not sure if that's the case or not.
No, I doubt it.
I'm sorry?
I said I doubt it. Nobody wants to send any more of these leftists.
Well, I understand, but they were saying that when he did his debate last week or two, he looked kind of tired and didn't really perform too well.
Oh.
I haven't seen the debate, so I don't know.
But we'll see. Count it all joy and just know that the red wave has arrived.
Yeah, but we can't sit back and rest on our laurels. We got to keep the pedal to the metal.
Yeah, I was just telling someone one of my main reasons for going red is because I'm tired. I grew up very political with my parents, always going to the meetings, always pulling up on the politicians, going to the fundraisers, so on and so forth. So the way the cycle works is you fight the politician for 3 years and then you spend a year trying to get them back elected. And it's just cycle after cycle after cycle. And I'm like, I'm tired. I don't want to go to City Hall anymore. I don't want to park downtown. I don't want to walk through the metal detectors. I want to just spend my time how I want to. But the only way that we can do that is by getting rid of this inept government that makes us constantly battle them for the things that we're entitled to as voters and taxpayers.
That's true.
So, in any case,
well, that's why we can't give up the struggle.
No, and it's not struggling, because at this point we winning.
Well, that's good. Like I said, I like your PMA. I always say PMA, not PMS.
PMA, positive mental attitude.
You got it.
All right. Thank you.
All right, dear. Keep it up. Thank you. Talk to you soon.
773-345-9977. So I'm supposed to have Miss Kay and Miss Jessica on the show right now. I think that everybody is a little bit tired from all the stuff that we've been doing today. We had a press conference this morning on 79th in front of Zoe Lee, who's another member of this Red Movement. She actually goes up to City Hall and she goes to the county meeting. She's super hyper involved because the city of Chicago demolished her mother's building without cause. So we had a press conference over there on her land this morning. Then Mark called me yesterday and he's like, all right, we're going to barbecue. Go grab some meat. So I'm thinking, okay, cool. I'll go grab some meat. And all of the what do you call them? The wholesale places were closed. So then I had to go and find all this meat, buy the meat, pack everything in my car, get over there. It was just a lot. It's a lot. But to go through an event like this and have it come out so successfully is such an amazing feeling. Because also when I went to the park yesterday, and I was polling the people, I said to a guy, I was just driving up to groups of people who were standing in Garfield Park. If you've ever gone to the Circle or to the Snake, you know how it is. So I'm driving through the Snake and I'm asking people questions. And so for the most part, people are like, yes, have a Trump rally. We want to see this over here. We want to see more Trump, everything over here. Please do it. But then there was this one guy. He's like, well, if you do this Trump rally, it's liable to get shot up. And I'm like, who gonna shoot it up? And he like, well, you don't know who gonna send somebody over there. And I'm like, my love, we're Republicans. We believe in the Second Amendment. So I promise you, y'all ain't the only one out there with bullets and guns. What you doing, baby? He's like, oh, I didn't think about it like that. And then, he drove away. But I say that to say that we've mostly met positive people. Even with today's spectacle that we did, we only had one detractor, and there was this woman who drove up in a car, and she had her phone, and she's screaming and yelling and stuff. But we have a mic and a PA system, so we really can't hear anything. So she's yelling and stuff, and I told her, "You're yelling, and I'm gonna whisper." Because you can't talk louder than the speaker. So what you mad for? And then I said, everybody, we are going to give her a power clap. A power clap is when everybody claps once with all of their power so we can give her some acknowledgement. So everybody, let's do it. 1, 2, 3, clap. I'm like, all right, you got your attention. Back to what we were talking about. So she got like frustrated and she left. But we met. So aside from her, the rest of the people were totally on board. We had people stop in their cars to come check out what we were talking about. This one lady, shout out to Dominique. Dominique was dressed for a concert. I'm talking about bad. And I see this beautiful Black woman walking up. So at first I'm like, what's she doing? And so I talked to her and she's like, I was actually, heading toward the expressway and I saw this. And I said, this is what I like. This is what I like. This is what I want to see. So I came over here with y'all. I'm like, girl, go get you some tacos and a pop and come check us out. Shout out to Tina. Another woman, she came with her boyfriend. She said again, they were just walking down the park and saw us representing Trump. And so she and I actually had a conversation, and she said that she was very grateful for the conversation because she typically thought that Black Republicans were super stuck up. And she's like, oh my God, you sitting here and you talking to me and you so calm and you explaining things to me. I never thought that I would be having a conversation like this with a Black Republican because typically they're like, stick up the butt kind of people. And I'm like, girl, I'm from the West Side just like you. What you mean? How can I like be rude to you and I might get stuck in the snow in the wintertime? I might need you and your boyfriend to push me out the ditch. We can't do that. We are all one nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. So then she says to me, well, they've been trying to put it in my head that Trump is a racist. I said, well, I want you to think about it in another way. Think about it like this. If you have a social security number and a birth certificate, Kamala Harris has absolutely nothing for you. 100% of the American Negro people have birth certificates and social security numbers because all of us are American citizens. Noted. American citizens. We are actually the most documented people in this country, the American Negro, which is why it's so frustrating when people are like, they don't know who gets reparations money. But I digress. So if she is only talking about things that benefit immigrants, then that means that her policies are inherently Negrophobic. Think about it. If they're only pushing for illegals, then they are being Negrophobic because we don't have access to any of those things. For instance, this past week, Kamala came out with her blackmail plan. And so we know that one, that's unconstitutional because the Supreme Court has already established that we cannot do any race-based anything. If we were to ever try to get something for ourselves, it has to be on an ethnicity basis, which is why I use the term American Negro. A lot of people say FBA or ADOS. I go by what's on my parents' Cook County birth certificate, which is Negro. So if they wanted to do something for Negro men, then that plan would have worked. But because she said she wanted to do something for Black men, they told her that it was unconstitutional, and then she expanded it for everybody. This plan makes weed legal, gives people $20,000 loans to pay for a business, and gives them crypto. What Negroes went in the room and only asked for weed, crypto, and loans when she said, what plan should I give to Black men? And that's all they came up with. That's because these men who are in the room with them are not the everyday average Black men. I always say that the Democratic Party attracts these sassy intellectual men, and not sassy as in gay, because sassy is a behavior, not a sex act. But these are very effeminate men, and they want to sit in there and they think that they're better than everybody else. So they say, well, just give those Negroes in those ghettos weed, loans, and crypto, and that's going to take care of them. My people, they're disrespectful. They're disrespectful. Do y'all think that all Black men need to have weed legal? No, they gonna smoke it whether it's legal or not. But shout out to the state of Illinois for decriminalizing it. Now, if she wanted to make it decriminalized on a federal level, do that, but don't use Black men as a reason to do it. What is this about? Negrophobia. They do not take us to be full citizens. So every time they come to us, it's always going to be about charity. It's always going to be about a handout. It's always going to be about a leg up, because they do not believe that we are capable, which is why they invest so much money into keeping our political esteem low. This is why we have a mayor who is a Democrat, but stands there and talks about all of the things that happened in past administrations without acknowledging that all of these things were platforms of the Democratic Party. They don't like us. They don't like us. And I'm telling you, if you got good sense and high self-esteem, please come on and join Chicago Red. Our last meeting before the election will be this Thursday at 7 p.m. at 5834 West Augusta. 5834 West Augusta. I was going to go to Hampton's homecoming this weekend, because this is my 15th year anniversary. Yeah, because I graduated in 2009. Shout out to Ogrify Ogre 13. But I was going to go to the 15th anniversary of Ogrify Ogre 13. But then I said, girl, how you going to dance in Virginia? And we got work to do. So next weekend, we're probably going to bust another move like we did today. Because like I said, today was absolutely perfect. I could not have wanted a more perfect event. So get down with us, y'all. Let us know how you want to help, if you want to help, how you want to be a part of the movement, because the movement is moving and we're winning on such a level that now, again, we have Waltz coming to Chicago saying that they are the underdogs and it's going to be a close race, because that's how the country is, rather than just saying our platform sucks and the people are not impressed. With that being said, it is time to go because we are at the end of the hour of Black Excellence Hour, and I truly appreciate the company, as I always do. Remember, friends, this is a self-esteem move. Vote for your kids, vote for your parents, vote for yourself, vote for your neighbors, and vote red. Remember, no more blue, no matter who. Vote red instead. Vote for Donald John Trump. Vote for Bob Fioretti for Cook County State's Attorney, because we're going to bring some justice and security back to Cook County, back to Chicago, back to the United States of America. Make crime illegal again and taxes low again. Make lunch meat low again. Make eggs low again. This is P-Ray of Black Excellence Hour, a show for people with high self-esteem. Oh, I love you guys. Thank you for supporting us. We almost at the finish line. Let's win and let's get it. Mwah. I love y'all so much. See you later. Ciao.